Don't be weird. Hi.
Oh, how are you doing?
Happy 4 years.
Happy 4 years to you. Coincidentally, I did ask you to go to lunch today, but I got turned down on my own anniversary.
Well, our anniversary was Sunday, first of all.
Classic guy. Didn't even know.
It was on the 21st, and we did a throwback show. If you have not had a chance to watch the throwback show last week, go back and watch it. It's like some of our favorite clips ever, and I thought that was really a fun show. We've never done anything like that. So after 4 years, we're still learning stuff.
So recently, Julie and I drove to Charlie Hooper's to celebrate someone's birthday.
Been there forever.
Yeah, we went with children. Bad idea. We were there for a whopping 1 hour. And I told the children, I go, oh, this is where mommy and daddy decided to get married. And so I remember that spot because I was about to have a Sunday fun day. And Julie was upset because she didn't think we were ever going to get engaged. We'd only been dating a year. So she's like, do you promise we're going to get married? I said, yeah, sure. And she's like freaked out and like gave me a hug. And I was like, I just wanted to do a Sunday fun day, but now I guess I'm getting married.
You proposed at Charlie Hooper's?
No, I agreed in the parking lot because she didn't want me to do a Sunday fun day with the guys. And I was like, oh, yeah, we'll get married a year from now. And she took that.
One time I thought I was getting engaged because we were going back as our 1 year anniversary. We were going back to where our first date was. And the person like set up a babysitter for me and like got an outfit, like did all the things. And I was 100% I was getting engaged, right? And through the whole dinner, I was just sitting there. It was like the old Houston's on the plaza. So then after the dinner, they were like, well, let's go over to the fountain, walk around the fountain. I was just like so prepared. I got my nails done. I had done all this stuff. Do you know that I did not get engaged? And I just never get, our relationship never came back from that. Like it was so depressing.
Well, good thing Bestway International is sponsoring this show because, that would have been sad news if it wasn't for Bestway International being the coolest sponsor of all time. The question I have before we bring on the guests and people tell us where they're watching from is, did you get the chicken fingers? Because I heard their chicken fingers were impressive.
I feel like you're the worst person ever at segues. I love you, but I feel like you're terrible at it.
I'm not. This is why everyone turns in a show for Aaron Fulk. You run everything. I'm
like, and to that, our sponsor, Bestway International, is like, no, please don't put us with the not engaged story. But Bestway International,
Bestway International, they're so cool. They think it's awesome. And you know what? Yeah, the guests hear me and they're like, wow, if that guy is hosting a show, I can be a killer guest.
If Scott can co-host the show, anybody can be anything. And that is your lesson today. If you are here watching for these valuable lessons, please say hello in the comments. Tell us if you're watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. If you're watching the replay, let us know that in the comments. We need to know that after 4 years, people still want to see us. Otherwise, we'll quit. Just kidding. We're still going to do it, even if you don't watch. We have some
Tuesdays, baby.
It's the only way we're going to see each other. And you're my only friend, so I have to have this show.
No. Everyone's buddies with Aaron Fulk, and everyone's asking you to go to lunch, but you are busy running Lily and James Creative.
I went to 2 in-person things last week, and I'm still recovering.
What? That's awesome.
I'm just a figment of the internet's imagination. All right, let's not talk about ourselves anymore. Let's bring in the guests. We've got some really cool guests today.
Oh, yeah.
And we still have the same worst music ever after 4 years. Yay.
Good. It's good stuff.
All right, Dan. This person happens to also be one of my favorite shows on Netflix. Okay. Our first guest is Jessica Jones, and our second guest is the hot and Woozie Rogers. Hello, guys. How are you?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
I can see people are watching. I don't know why nobody's commenting. Let us know if there's a lot of people, actually more people than usual are watching. Please comment.
We'll read it.
Breaks. Yeah, sometimes. Okay. Well, please just comment so we don't feel so weird. All right, Jessica, who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. So Jessica Jones, born and raised in Kansas City. So I've been here my whole life. I've been working for about 20 years in financial services. So most of that career has been in operations. I know that means something different to a lot of people, but for me, I call that problem solving. So bring a business problem to me, and I just kind of work with other departments to kind of collaborate on, how do we solve that from a regulatory compliance perspective, and then make sure it's scalable, efficient, work with technology, make sure that we can, repeat it, all of that. And so now after 20 years, I've started my own consulting business, and I get to do that for other people. That's me.
So Jessica, when you think of UMB and creative planning and Mariner and some of the huge organizations you've worked with, what are some of the valuable lessons you've learned that you've taken into your own business?
Oh, absolutely. Those, some of the big firms that I've worked with, they're just, efficiency, harnessing technology for sure. Working at my consulting business today, I like working with the smaller firms because they don't, have the manpower, and they haven't been able to, work with the big companies and see that what's possible with technology. So being able to come in, and bring in technology for sure has been a great thing.
So if you are like me and you're not really smart and you're not an entrepreneur like Erin that runs her own business, how do you explain to me what you're looking for and how you make money?
Say that again.
What does an ideal client look like for you, and how do you drive revenue to your business?
Oh, sure. So right now I've been working with financial services firms particularly, but I've been also open to other firms. So our one of our clients is a flooring business. So we're doing a CRM implementation for them, as well as their website and point of sale systems. We also have outsourced COO services that we're doing. One of our clients is launching a Caribbean fund down in Jamaica. And we just have all sorts of different things that we're working on.
What's one of the biggest things that helps you decide which CRM is best for a company?
Cost is a big factor for our clients, for sure. And then what it is they're trying to do with their CRM. So is it just, data entry that they're trying to track their data clients with, or is there automation and efficiency they're looking as well?
Oh, the CRM conversation is one of my favorites. We could go on for all 30 minutes, but I won't keep you guys. Well, thank you for joining us today, Jessica. Clint says, hey, Scott and Erin, happy to watch you live today. Clint, thank you for saying hello. If the rest of you want to say hi, let us know. But Clint, we are so glad you chose to watch us live today.
Clint is a pretty big deal, pretty big deal. So he probably wants some anonymity, but it's cool that we have CEOs and venture capitalists watching.
I wonder if his middle name starts with a C.
I don't know that.
I don't know that either because I don't know him.
Yeah.
All right, Woozie, who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
My name's Mark Rogers, but everybody calls me Woozie. Grew up or born in Topeka, lived in Iowa for a few years, back to Overland Park. So I've been close by the area my whole life. Went to KU for school, worked in Emporia for a few years, and then made it back up this way. So now out in Lee Summit. So bounced all around, but ended up right back here. I now work for a AI company. We started off as kind of specifically in the automotive space. Then we partnered with another company that was doing research and development in the AI space for about the last 5 years. Just kind of completed that merger just a few months ago. And so now kind of what our general thing we do here at work is we create AI personas that basically can be given skills that then can be given to businesses in order to solve kind of specific problems. So we work with everybody from kind of our home base in the automotive industry to now we're working with some Fortune 500 companies to oil and gas to lawyers to real estate to pretty much anything that we can get in to implement AI into. We'll dip our toes in there.
Woozie, if I'm a car dealership, what do you do for car dealerships? And then what do you do for oil and gas?
Yeah, so our first kind of product that we just launched for the automotive space is we've been selling a product called Conversica for years. Kind of was one of our toe into the AI field was kind of their product here. We've just used our kind of research and development side on the NeoWorlder side to add in a plugin for that product. Basically, what the original product allows you to do is it's a really good just like email marketing blast campaigns. Lets you do a lot of customization there. But what we saw was that after that first message, when people were responding, we really wanted a generative AI agent in there to basically understand the responses and then give out better responses back to them. So that's basically what we built. So it basically just sits there. So car dealership emails you about, some service or some car they think you might be interested in, some campaign, you respond. And now instead of it just going through its templated responses or a sales rep, our AI persona is basically going to sit on top there, read the conversation history, remember who you are in case you ask questions down the line, and then just make that more of a personalized kind of nuanced conversation there. So similar, well, kind of a little bit different what we're doing with the oil and gas there. Basically, for them, they have these really large projects that they set up on these sites, and they have to have these kind of basis of design documents that goes, pages and pages of kind of safety regulations. What we were able to do with them was basically upload all of the safety regulations that they need to kind of be aware of. And then when they're going to these sites now, they can basically just ask our AI persona, like, hey, I need a basis of design document for this. Can you do it? Make sure you get all the safety regulations in there. And then it can basically just spit it out to them. They were telling us that we're still kind of tweaking this for them, but they're telling us that we can basically get out now in about 15 minutes what it was taking them weeks to do prior. So it's a pretty good jump, I think, for him so far.
I have a really quick question, even though you're out of time. So answer it just one word, okay? This is an Iowa question. 1v1 with you and Caitlin Clark. Who's winning?
Oh, she's beating me. I'm not that deluded. I like basketball. I like to pretend I'm good, but I'm not that good.
Good answer. Good answer, Woozie. All right, Scott, are you ready to ask your question?
The Caitlin Clark thing just got me all excited. So I think she's
it's a big trend on TikTok, and unfortunately, a lot of dudes are like, "I got her," and I'm like, "No, you don't."
No.
I used to go play rec at the KU rec, and the women's team would come in there, and yeah, I learned my lesson on that early.
All right, Scott.
Jessica, what is the most pivotal point in your career?
Pivotal point. Okay, so I would say I have two pivotal points. So the first one would be as a female. I think most of us have imposter syndrome. So being able to overcome that would be a pivotal point. And I think I realized that several years ago, working on a very, very large project. So implementing software CRM conversion actually for a big firm, about 700 users. And being able to do that in a span of about 10 months, moving from Dynamics to Salesforce CRM with a very small team. And I think after doing that, I got over my imposter syndrome, realized I can do hard things. And so just being able to say, I don't, not that fear doesn't hold me back anymore, right? So that was one pivotal moment. The other one I would say is realizing when you're in a toxic environment, being either personal or professional, I think taking steps to get out of that environment is also a pivotal moment. So I kind of generalize that, but I just want that if anyone that's listening that hears this to really think about if they've seen red flags but haven't trusted themselves. Kind of just take this, if they're listening, to take this and trust themselves, right, and take steps to get out of that, because if they are in a toxic environment, you're going to shrink and you're not going to be who you really are. So that was also a pivotal moment for me, is when I realized over my life, when I've been in those environments, to really step out of it and, go do something else. So those I would say would be two of my most pivotal kind of moments in my life.
Let me ask you this. While you were working on the 700, if moving anything to Salesforce sounds like a lot of work. But while you were working through that project, at what point, there had to be something that you were like, nah, I got this. I know what I'm doing. What was that point?
We had hired a third party that was referred to us by Salesforce to come in and do the implementation. And after about 2 or 3 months, we fired them because they weren't doing it. And we did not go hire anyone else. So we took that all in-house. So working Saturdays, Sundays, 80-hour weeks. Yeah. So to hit the launch date, which was end of year, to make sure that we had a slow period, because in financial services really slows down in December, because clients are normally taking vacations around that time of year. So that's the time you want to learn. So yeah, that was our launch go live date. And so yes, just kind of dug in and learned, and did all the training, had 200 people on training calls, live videos, all of it. So yes, that was kind of my moment where I'm like, I can do this.
I like that. There's also another TikTok trending sound, if you ever want to use it, Jessica, where the sound goes, how hard could it be? Boys do it. So you can also use that. All right, Scott, get ready to ask Woozie.
I partner with only women and basically working moms, because they do 37 jobs and guys have one. So Woozie, I apologize. I just threw you down. But what was the most pivotal point in your career?
For me, it was quitting pharmacy. So
I was going to ask that, but you were going on. Yeah. So how do you go from pharmacy to what you're doing?
Yeah, so started off in pharmacy school at KU. Honestly, loved it there. Couldn't be more highly praised of the pharmacy school itself. Loved the classes, loved the science behind it, loved learning it. And then it's just that switch of coming in. I took a job with one of the large retail pharmacies, and just wasn't for me. First year you're excited to be working there. About year two, I was already starting to have my doubts about this being the field for me. And it's one of those sad things where you think you get in there as a pharmacist, and you're like, oh, okay, it's going to be very rewarding. I feel like I'm going to be helping people. And honestly, at the end of the day, I just wasn't really getting much of that. Like, it felt like I was just there to put out fires and just try to get people in and out of the line as fast as I could. So kind of towards year 4 there, I pretty much knew, like, okay, this isn't for me. I'm going to have to find something else to do here, especially, when still a lot of my life in front of me here. So started asking around, knew I wanted to get back into something either coding related or tech related. So took about a full year, almost a year and a half off of just working about a day a month of pharmacy to pay some bills, but started doing some coding on my own. And then about that time, about a year and a half after that, is when Josh, our CEO at the ATS side, kind of reached out to me and basically said, like, hey, look, like, we're a small team. We've got a ton of stuff that we're trying to do to grow. Just come in, see if you like it, see if there's anything here for you. Came in for about a month, loved what we were doing here. And then about a month after I started was when the chat GDP kind of released for the first time there. So he was thankfully kind of saw it just like I did, and was basically turned my job into, hey, we need to figure out what this is, figure out what it can do, figure out where it's going, and get it in every part of our business we can. So from there, that kind of became my new job of figuring out what we can automate, how we can implement AI into our processes. And then quickly, short few months after that is when we linked up with Neo Worlder, who's kind of our sister company, who's kind of like our R&D side. Basically, they just heard that we were super interested in AI through a connection that had worked with us before. He basically said, hey, I've got this research partner who's looking to do real big things in the AI space. And they were kind of looking for a commercialization arm. So it just ended up being the perfect marriage at the perfect time for our companies to kind of get together. And haven't looked back. Didn't bother renewing my pharmacy license this year. And I think that's it for me on the pharmacy side. But I couldn't be happier with the AI space. It's a new fun thing every day for me. And I couldn't be more happy where I landed.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how scary do you think AI could get?
9 or 10. I'm not going to beat around the bush. And it's the second you hear somebody say that they know exactly what's going to happen, you should probably be a little bit skeptical, because I don't really know if anybody does. But it's one of those things where every day I come into work and I get a lot of fun task of just, hey, you got to go vet what this tool does, or hey, somebody heard about some new tool, and hey, just see if it does anything or see if it's good. So I get to do a lot of fun of just playing around with stuff. And yeah, some of the stuff I see almost every other week, it's something's getting better, something's getting improved, something's going to knock another tool out of the out of your toolbox. So
the number, you've gone way over your time, but I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Just kidding. Look, Jay says great show today, fantastic Q&A. Well, thank you, Jay.
Yeah, Jay. Yeah, Bestway International.
Is Jay from Best? Well,
he owns it. He owns it. He's our boss, Aaron.
Hi, boss. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I'm terrible at having a boss. That's why I started.
Yeah, that's why you got your own company.
So I had to start here. All right, here's the thing, Jessica. We're back to you. And listen, be like Jay and leave more comments over here. There's a ton of you guys watching today on both Facebook. Facebook has an audience today too, and LinkedIn. So tell us if you're watching from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and if you watch the replay, let us know that. But if you're watching us live, let us know that. Jessica, what are your 2024 goals? How close are you to accomplishing those? Because we are already in Q2. And what can the Kansas City community help you do to get there?
Yes. So I have a couple things I want to share. So I have a startup tech company that's also working in AI. So it was really great to meet you, Woozie. And I'm sure we'll have more conversations.
To Woozie's company.
Yeah, not quite a competitor, a little different, but it will incorporate personas, which I thought was really interesting that we were on the show today. So I've already made a connection with you on LinkedIn. Maybe we can chat sometime. So I've got that. It's called Let's Endeavor. I can't really share too much yet. We're going through the patent process. We did apply to venture capital yesterday and kind of working through that. So more to come there. But for that, I think if Kansas City could support in any way, be like following us, social media, our website's let'sendeavor.co. If there's any venture capitalists out there or anyone that just, investors that are interested, I'd love that. Any support just, and then, networking, anything we can do to like help get that off the ground would be great. And then the other thing is just our business, Illuminate Consulting. That's I started its data services, data strategy. So standing up data lakes, warehouses, and outsource operations, fractional COO. Kind of mentioned some of the projects we were doing at the point of sale, technology implementations, fun launches. So that's not our first rodeo there. Our team's done launches in Europe and the UK. So Jamaica's kind of new for us, but just added to the list. So so some pretty exciting stuff there. So if that's if there's anybody out there that needs those services that'd like to support small business, we'd love that. And then I'd say, if anyone wants to reach out or connect with me on LinkedIn, I just love helping different groups. So I'm on a board for another B Corp company, and I love helping nonprofits. So I would just say that too. If anything I can do to help other people.
Let me ask. Go ahead. Well, I just had one question because I feel like Jessica's the expert, and people ask me this almost weekly. I would say, if you personally could only choose one to use personally, would you be a Salesforce or a HubSpot girl?
Oh, Salesforce, hands down. Oh yeah, it's so expensive though. But Salesforce, hands down.
They're both so expensive. I'm a pipe drive girl. That's where I'm at in my life. I'm still a pipe drive girl.
Well, it sounds like Woozie could potentially be an investor, and you and Aaron can refer each other a lot of business. But quickly, what was the aha moment for you that pushed you to do it?
To do what? The
Both
startup?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Probably just this is going to sound bad. I realize that any idiot can do it.
Anyone can also be a co-host, but you do need a host. You do need a host.
I can do it. How hard could it be? Brad says, how long do Woozie Koozies keep your beer cold? So I think you can answer that, and after you answer this question. All right, sir. What are your 2024 goals? How close are you to achieving those, and how can the Kansas City community help you?
Yeah, so my goal that they can help me with is I want to grow my LinkedIn following, and thankfully for me, I pretty much do everything at work except sales. So I'm not really looking to sell. I am looking for just community of AI enthusiasts. If you've got problems, I want to help. If you think you've got a solution, I want to see it. Just want to kind of get a community that just enjoys looking at that type of stuff, like sharing the new stuff they find, just kind of find that little niche community there for me. And then internally, I got just organizational stuff for me personally on the kind of the more business side. But as far as the goals for Kansas City to help me with, I really just want to be make next year more of a make myself available for people that just have easy questions that I can help with, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Do you feel like you were held back a little bit? Obviously, pharmacy is incredibly hard to pursue, and it's an amazing accomplishment. But do you feel like you were held back for what you wanted to be?
100%. And it's one of those things where it's, you spend 4 years amassing all of this great pharmacy knowledge, all this chemistry knowledge, and then they put you to work, and it's like most of my day, 90% of my day was done, fixing small insurance problems. And it's like like this needs to get done, but is this really what I went to school to help people with? Was kind of the wall that I started hitting up against, where, it's your best interaction during the day at the pharmacy might be 30 seconds where you're just simply telling them how to use their med. It's like, it never really felt very often like I was actually, having a good one-on-one conversation with, patients at the pharmacy. And maybe some of that was on me, but it's just it was kind of the belly of the beast there. It's what are you going to do when you have lines in both spots, the phone's ringing and people just want to get out of there. So at times I felt like the best way I could help people was just go as fast as I can and get them out of there. But then it's like if that's all I'm doing here, I don't know whether my medical degree is worth it. So that was kind of the tipping point for me, where it's like I honestly feel I can impact people's lives better by helping them understand and implement AI than I ever was at the pharmacy, just because the amount of time I could interact with those people was so minuscule. It was, hey, take this in the morning, and that's about all I had time to say. So now that it's when you're implementing things like this into people's processes, number one, they want this product, so they want to sit down and talk to you. They want to these creative solutions. So it just seems like it's almost more of a more meaningful connection, which sounds weird because thinking pharmacy with people's health, you'd think that connection would be there more, but I don't know, not what I've seen so far, I guess.
Do you at least feel like you can diagnose yourself?
Yeah, but that's also a slippery slope there sometimes.
Answer this one too. How long do Woozie Koozies keep your beer cold?
Brad, forever. As long as you don't lose the Woozie Koozie, they'll let me say that. They'll stay good until the next year comes out. So little background, one of my buddies gives me a Woozie Koozie for Christmas each year and redesigns them. So they're
I was like,
what a good friend.
It's a good friend. Listen, I found something really interesting today, that both of the people on our panel today said that they would like you guys to connect with them on LinkedIn. They're both trying to grow their LinkedIn communities. So please make sure you connect with them. Please make sure that you go connect with everybody here in the comments. Tell Jay that you love the show while you're doing it, okay?
Yeah. Bestway International.
Make sure you follow Bestway International. Thank you guys so much for coming on the panel. Thank you so much to Bestway International for sponsoring. And Scott, thank you so much for being my co-host for the past 4 years. I feel like you're really starting to get the hang of things around here.
Yeah. Oh, you run it.
All right, guys. We will see you same time, same place next week. Have a wonderful week. Bye, guys.